Hey guys, give me a sec to set up here. I'm doing something a little different today. I'm going to broadcast with both YouTube and what's the other thing called? YouTube and TikTok. But it's going to take a sec to set up here. Almost ready. I'm just going to work on powers. I won't actually be able to see the comments though, the way I have this set up. I'm just going to kind of work and be quiet. If I can keep my stuff from falling over. Let's see. I can adjust that a little bit. All right, I think I'm officially good to go. All right. I just gotta hope I don't hit my head on the camera. I'm gonna start out here with just a small panel. That's supposed to be an iPad of some kind. It's a small figure, so it won't matter too much, but I might go back and fix it a little. Yeah, it's a lizard scientist. You know, lizard scientist. He's a very concerned lizard scientist because his extra dimensional portal technology has gone awry, as it does. Not a great hand, but okay, we'll survive. Either go back and fix it and change it, or once I'm done with the whole panel, it might look okay in context of everything else. It's funny how that works. I'm going to repeat this a few times, but the way that I've had my camera set up, I can't actually see comments or anything. Usually I can, but this time, just the way I've had it set up is not apropos for that. So if you have any questions, I won't see them. Although I'm streaming both on my YouTube channel and TikTok. So if you're checking it out on YouTube, you can actually leave a comment, I think, that I'll see when I look back, and then I can probably answer something that way. Gonna draw an easy face here. And then I'm gonna get into a whole new page. So I'm just warming up a little bit by tackling some low-key stuff. Because then we're gonna do this. Nice big splash page. He's a little worried. Looks a little worried, right? I think I pulled it off. I'm going to draw his whole head in here, even though part of his face is going to be covered up by the tablet that he's clutching onto. This way I can kind of draw the head as I would like to see it without having to worry about parts of it being blocked off by his hand and stuff. so I don't get like a wonky proportion, wonkier than I usually draw. Let's draw another face here. This is Mobius Moon. He has a kind of diamond-shaped face. Like I like for his skull to come in at an angle like that at the top. Just gives him a unique head shape, nothing crazy, but enough that I think subliminally you can look at it and go, oh, that's Mobius Moon from just the shape. And then his beard comes around his face to frame it like a nice smile. Comes in closer to his temples. Feel like I'm drawing a little wobbly because the cameras I put them too close where my head should go over the thing, over the iPad. So I'm looking at this at a slightly odd angle. It's kind of why I stopped recording videos for big chunks at a time, because sometimes you just get tired of the whole setup. And because I work in different places in my house, like right now I'm at my kitchen table. Because I work at all these different locations and stuff, I don't have like a singular place to just set up like a permanent camera thing that works or whatever. Don't get too fancy. I don't get too fancy with his hair, just because of my cartooniness. I just need shapes. Same with women's hair. I typically just do almost just a shape. Like I don't do too much of individual hairs and stuff. It's almost better to look at it like a sculpture than think of these as individual hairs on a head. I don't know if that makes any sense or not. But I remember my buddy Adam Hughes telling me about that when I was drawing hairs. He was like, think of it almost like a sculpture. Not a bunch of individual strands. these little lines here because his eyes are about to power up. He's kind of got this sort of almost Cyclops-like powers. So that's not really done, but good enough for now. Like I like to sort of move around on a page, as you can tell. There's no particular rhyme or reason. I think right now just kind of starting out with some faces here, just for fun. All right, I'm gonna save this, and here's the page I was ready to go for. So we got Mobius and Cutter versus, I think her name is Giant Pink or Big Pink. I think that's a joke. Anyway, I'm gonna use a slightly thicker line on this, like a 50 or 60 even for Moon up front. I keep simple shapes for things. I think of his ear, the back of an ear, I always think of as like a C. So it's like a letter C, kind of, but backwards right now, you know. Um, this is kind of what I mean when I tell people, like, I don't particularly draw well, but I use shapes well. I use shapes and um, composition to really express what I'm drawing, as opposed to literally drawing the back of an ear or a real shape of a head or anything. Yeah, sometimes before I do my rendering, I look at my drawings and I'm like, man, that looks weird. But then once it all comes together, it's like this it's like a neat magic trick that I kind of pull even on myself, and I'm like, oh wait, no, look at that, that's pretty cool. But I mean, I think I get that from, you know, clearly one of my biggest influences is Mike Mignola, and I think Mike does a similar thing. Like he's looking for shapes and lines that represent what he's drawing, um, as opposed to the literal thing. And the cartooniness that I started with Powers with, I think helped me understand that more. What abstraction can do or say that something literal can't. So again, if you've had any questions or left any comments down below, unless you're on YouTube, I won't be able to see it, and I'm not even going to be able to see the YouTube comments until later. Just the way I have things set up right now. But just knowing that I'm broadcasting live, knowing that people are watching, is a big help because, like, Taki and I are at home all day together. The act of drawing can be pretty solitary. Right now, Taki's here. She's just working out. So it's just me at the table. So this kind of thing is fun. I'm going to draw the handle after I've drawn the hand. Sometimes it's easier to deal with things that way. So like I'll lower the opacity, create another layer. And then draw like that. I do this quite a bit. It's a neat little thing I love about working digitally. Just helps you deal with shapes and stuff. Look at that. Hopefully that wasn't off camera too long. I think it was. Make sure you save often. All right, so here we go with Dina. Whoops. Freudian slip. It's not Dina. This is Cutter. And I have a feeling that not both cameras are picking up like they're kind of on different spots here. So I got to figure out next time how to line them up better. Sometimes I'll hear people comment like that my line work is so assured, to just go in and do these big lines and stuff. Um, Even when I'm working analog, I'm kind of doing the same thing. Um, but I want you to know that you can do that too. Just like everything else is worth doing, it just takes a lot of practice. And I've been doing this for a while. this is a fun thing to do because her head is like shaved on the sides, so I like to do a little cross hatching. I don't fight with it to make it perfect. Oh yeah, and I selected this inside area in case you missed that, so that I can make my lines just go pretty, off. If this is in black and white, I think I would have to work a little bit more to get this effect right, but it's in color. And Nick Filardi, he's so great. He takes anything I do that's mediocre and makes it look great. And that's probably a good example right there. Is like this crotch hatching in her hair isn't exactly what I was hoping for or wanted it to be. But instead of fighting with it and stuff, I know I have a good partner in Nick Filardi who will just know what to do. I don't even give him notes. I think once every 5 issues, I'll have a minor note for him or something. Maybe. Yeah. And again, I don't go in looking for perfection out of my lines or my drawings. Just go for it first, draw it first, and then you can figure out later if it's okay or not. Especially when you're drawing digitally, that's what layers are for. They're there to allow you to make mistakes, take chances. So like I have to draw the fingers that would come under here, right? So let's lower these layers. So I'm just going to lower the opacity, create another layer. Now I can draw the fingers right on top. And because I draw the way I do, I can get away with these little triangles and squares to look like fingers. Now, if you're a really good artist like a Tony Parker or something where you can actually draw hands, this might be a little bit more of a thing for you because you're going to make them look anatomically correct and beautiful and stuff. I just need shapes. And there's this basically is like this action thing happening here. So, or this reveal. So basically, I have a lot of lines are kind of pointing that way. They're almost like these sort of action or energy lines, but without being those. I don't like the shape too much in here. Like the underdrawing, it described the middle of her back and her shoulders. I kind of lost that somewhere along the way. Let's see if that helps any. I don't know. I'm not going to sweat it too much though. Like I said, you come back with other layers and you can fix things or change things. Oops. So I'm going to repeat what I said before. I can't see comments and stuff, so if you're leaving any, like unless it's on YouTube, I can check it out later. You can always DM me if you have questions. Or you're looking for advice or something. I'll do what I can. See, this is interesting. I don't like these two lines next to each other. One line describes exactly what's going on with the fabric. Two lines, it does, but they're too similar. And then when I did that, I thought it would differentiate. But now it's creating this weird tangent in there. So it's making one of the lines really different from the other. I think that's better. Again, like I'm not drawing exact. I don't draw particularly well. I draw shapes that describe what the thing is. I just draw shapes. If I relied on an actual drawing skill, like a high level of draftsmanship, like Adam Hughes or something, I would have to approach this very differently. There's going to be a whole set of wreckage here. I'm going to draw that later. I also have a reference for this character not available to me readily right here, so I'm just going to draw sort of the outline of her body. And I'll check out my reference later and then fill in those details. Now, because she's supposed to be like this giant, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the sense of scale on her. I'm going to make this leg a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to go into my penciled layer, which is just from a sketchbook. Just make that leg bigger. And that's going to increase the sense of distance. I could even make all of this smaller, but I think if I did, it might lose some impact. Yeah, I kind of like it. I thought maybe it would make her figure too small back here and you'd kind of lose it. So what I'm going to do in the inks, I'm going to make sure that these legs are a thicker line weight than a thicker line weight than her upper body. And keep in mind you're looking up out of her body, so like all these lines should kind of feel like a cylinder. We're describing the shape. Again, we're just describing shapes through the lines. All right, now I'm going to go back to a smaller line for the rest of this. Pardon me. I'm not sweating the details. Again, like, I'm not super happy with the proportions on that. But I'm going to create another layer later and then fix it. Here's the thing you'll notice I do with almost all my fists, which is one finger is lifted above the others just to give it some shape. So sometimes it's two fingers, a lot of times it's just this one, so the fist will just be like that. I don't remember if she has gloves on or not. I think she has gloves, so I'm not gonna worry about fingernails or anything. All the other details would really help her costume and stuff. I just don't have it handy because all my files are upstairs and I'm working in my kitchen right now. Or, I don't know what you call it, dining room. And then I always go in to do details later. So the beginnings of things are just, I call it the coloring book stage. Where I'm just kind of doing the outlines of figures, the outlines of shapes, and finding these big, bold brush strokes. It's sort of my favorite section of the whole thing. This hand is way out of proportion and weird, but I'm going to go with it for now. And see if it comes together. That hand doesn't matter right now. Again, it's just a shape, and maybe it'll work once the whole drawing is together. And if not, if I get a funny feeling from it, then I'll go in and change it. That's definitely not going to stay, but I'm just doing it for now. What's really important to me when I'm working on a page is progression, because I have so many pages to do. I have so much work to do because I work on multiple books. This is not great, but it's just the first stage of it. I'll work it. But the point is, like, I need that forward momentum to feel like I'm getting things accomplished. Because that's a good feeling when you slave away at a page and you're working out every detail and you're just trying to make it work and work and work. It starts to feel like work. It starts to feel like a hill you can't climb up, like you're Sisyphus pushing a rock up a slippery hill, you know. But that's most of the page. I mean, this is the guts of the page, right? The rest of this is wreckage from this bar. I'll probably use photo reference for if I find the right shot. I might even trace it. If not, what I'll do is often put the photo of what I find like up here somewhere, and then I sort of eyeball copy it. If I have the energy, it's great. The mental energy, if it's there, I'll just draw it all straight into ink. You know, it just depends on where I'm at the time. Um, as I'm looking at this, like the line work around her breast here feels too thick for the sense of dimension. Remember I talked about the higher up it goes, the thinner the line work would be. So like here's an example. I can do this. I can go to filter. Was it line correction? Where's line correction? Shit. Oh, adjust line width. Okay. So if I wanted to make this line width smaller, did that work? Yeah. I thought the effect would work, but it didn't really work. Now, because this arm is going to be lower than this hand, I think this is what I realized why this is bothering me. Yeah, see, and that gives a better sense of scale, right? Like you're looking at this giant. And like, even though this is fucking up the line work again, it doesn't matter because that's what the next layer is for, right? Let's make another layer, touch it up. Like she's holding that arm up, so it's going to be a little shorter. I had it way too long. I think her head is probably too big. See, you don't have to be a great artist to draw comics. You don't need AI to make everything look perfect for you. You just need to find like a style and a concept, an approach, a philosophy to drawing. Okay. Let's go in here and fix some of this. And one of the things I like to do when I'm inking digitally, it's easy enough to do like a really fine, thin line like this, like a thick to thin, right? What I like to do is like in the middle of the line, push really hard. Middle line, push, change directions. Like it just gives it a little bit more of a bounce than say that or that. And it's not always preferable, but sometimes. So you'll see me a lot of times the thick and thinness as I'm getting out of here is through doing something like that. And I'm going to erase. Oops. It's wrong layer and everything. Again, if you have any questions, I'm not going to be able to hear them or see them because I can't read my thing right now. I like that the line is thicker here. No, I don't like that. Never mind. Because it kind of made her arm look like it's pointing in the wrong direction. There you go. That feels more like she's holding it up and it's going up in that direction, and her bicep and stuff is lower and closer to you. Yeah, still not great, but this sort of depends. This is going to depend a lot on her costume, the details of her costume. All that I remember is when I designed her. She's like the first character you see in the first issue of Powers. Um, Again, I'm not loving this face, but I'm just gonna keep going. Uh, I just drew her as like kind of the cheerleader type, the classic blonde hair, blue eyes girl kind of thing. I don't remember her costume. It's an okay face. It might be hard to tell from the angles that the camera is at here and stuff too. Um, but then, a great way to see how things are working is the old reversal. Like these arms are pointing away from us, but they feel a little short. Maybe your head is a little big. I'm not sure. I'll figure it out. Face isn't as wobbly as I thought it was, even looking backwards. It kind of is, but it kind of works with the motion and stuff. I like the way he worked. I like the way he works it. No dignity. I'm gonna see if her head is too big. I think that helps a little bit. Yeah, yeah, I like it. Plus, it makes his head bigger, which makes more of a sense of depth here. And I kind of messed up when I laid this out. Like, this works. So she speaks first, then he speaks. So she's over here first. But like compositionally, I should have made her bigger and then him smaller, because then it brings your eye kind of like from there, boom, to there. But right now, it kind of goes here to there to there. It's a splash page, so it doesn't matter quite as much. But just a thought. See when we reverse it. See, this feels better. This feels like it's all going from your eye goes from the top right or top left to the bottom right really smoothly. That would have been nicer. But all right, whatever. Next time. I'm still not happy with the way this shape is described here. Maybe I'll just black it all out. Yeah, I like that better. All right. Well, with that, I think we inked a little chunk of page here, a little chunk of page there. And I think that's good for now. I think I'm going to take a break. Thanks for hanging out. Remember, I can't actually see your comments here, so if you stop over by the YouTube page or DM me if you have any questions, I'll answer them for you the best I can. Yeah, that's it. Thanks. So give me a sec while I